Having been a minimalist for years now, there are a ton of things that I no longer buy. When I started my minimalism journey, I felt like I needed to sell a large amount of my belongings and stop doing the things I was passionate about since it did not align with minimalism. And honestly, I was considering stop being a minimalist because I didn't feel like my life was balanced. And then I discovered minimalism isn't just about having less, it's about prioritizing what matters. And I found that when you stop making purchases on small items that you don't need, you begin having the money to be able to invest into yourself and to prioritize what matters and causes fulfillment. I wanted to share the 5 intentional purchases that I make as a minimalist. My health. In the beginning of my minimalism journey, I really prioritized watching my life get as simple as possible, that way that my bank account could grow more. And during this time, I got that way around food. I started thinking, if I just eat chicken and rice for every single meal, or I can just skip a meal because I don't really need it, then my bank account can grow more and my life can be simpler. But I found that that just wasn't the best for my health, and that's something that I am now prioritizing. My girlfriend and I really make a conscious effort of the things that we put into our bodies, that we focus on the foods that we select at the grocery store, the way that we prepare it in the kitchen, and meal prep throughout the week on what it is that we want to eat for lunches and dinner. I would say on a financial standpoint, while groceries are becoming far more expensive, it is still less money than we would have spent kind of half going with groceries and then eating out more. We rarely eat out, and I would say that that has actually saved us a lot more money. Intentional hobbies. I've discussed intentional hobbies quite a bit here on the channel, but I haven't really discussed too much what it is that I personally like to do. One of them being, ever since I was a little kid, I collected Star Wars action figures. And so now I've kind of gotten back into doing the same thing. And that is entirely not minimalist, and it causes nothing but clutter in my closet. But the point of this is it provides fulfillment to me. It makes me feel joy whenever I get to see them. And it's a way that I get to connect with my younger self. Something that, for me at least, was something that I ignored for the majority of my life. So in a way, this has even been a bit therapeutic for me. Other things that I enjoy doing is like going bowling or going swimming. Both things that I did a lot as a child and things that is a way for me to be able to just kind of clear my mind in a somewhat inexpensive way. And I try to find ways that I'm able to do it without breaking the bank too much. Traveling. And I have truly found such tremendous amounts of benefit through traveling. In a recent trip to Mexico, it was able to remind me that life is meant to be lived and to always be thankful for where you are. While we were in Mexico, we were staying at a resort, and there was a gentleman that his main job was to get you pretty much anything you needed from the resort itself and bring it to you on the beach. It was about a 100-yard walk through the sand in the heat, but he was so incredibly caring and respectful, and you could just tell that he enjoyed his life. And by the end of our trip, we asked him like some questions about himself, like what are your passions and what is it that you want to do with your life? And he said that what he loves doing is just spending some time with his wife. And he loves that he gets to work by the beach. And he talked about how great the job was. And I asked him, I was like, what are some goals that you want to do with your life? And he said, if I really had to find something, I would just want to learn better English so that I can help you guys out more. And that was such a eye-opening moment for me personally, because while I was all caught up in my head about the uncertainty that I was embarking on and living mentally in the future, I was completely forgetting to live in the present and to realize how beautiful life truly is and the intention behind our actions that we do every single day. Investment pieces. And I am truly just not too much of a materialistic person. And so whenever I would go clothes shopping, I would just buy some clothes that kind of fit and I kind of liked just to kind of get done with it. And what I discovered is when I looked at my closet, I had a ton of things that I didn't like, I never wore, didn't fit me well, and I was spending a lot more money on quantity instead of the initial investment in the quality and what it was that I actually liked, what actually looked good on my physique. As I was decluttering, I realized the items that were still hanging up in my closet were the ones that I did put a little bit more intention into picking out and put a little bit more money towards. And so what I've began doing is finding key items in my wardrobe and really trying to prioritize with intention what it is that I like to wear and know exactly the brands that I like and exactly what size I am. That way, I'm able to streamline the buying process, but also to feel comfortable and confident in my clothes. Fulfilling experiences. This has been such a fun thing that I've really started to do because, again, before my life was extremely simple and I wasn't really doing anything that I wanted to do. I was like famous for saying no. If it cost any money and it was going to take some time, no. What I'm doing now is I'm really trying to say yes to as many opportunities as I can. I've gone to a bunch of comedy shows this year, seen my favorite comics, and that has been incredible, especially in Austin since this place is growing so much in the comedy space. Something that I've also really enjoyed doing is going out and seeing movies with one of my friends. We have really gotten into watching these IMAX movies, seeing Oppenheimer and The Dark Knight, and it's just been such a fun, wholesome experience that costs like $20 or $30, but is something that allows us to get closer and something that we're going to talk about for years to come. And I think that that shows that a lot of the moments that you are going to cherish and remember are the priceless moments. It's not going to be, oh, I spent $20 at the movies. It's, I got to go see an excellent movie with my friend. And so that has really helped me mentally be able to get over the hurdle of having to spend money on something. And that ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it is what is priceless. And so really what I wanted to share was that when I started my minimalism journey, I thought that I had to eliminate the parts of myself that didn't fit in that category. But I think that life is all about balance, and we need to be able to adhere to some of the parts of whatever it is that you want to fit in with, but also stand out in your own unique way, and to be able to live your life with intention. And all of the things that I listed that I spend money on, while they are discretionary in some ways, they're ways that provide fulfillment for me, and ways that you could even consider it an investment because it is helping me be able to do what it is that I want in my life in a healthier and better way. I think that so often we get lost in the hustle of our culture now and what society is becoming. That things are becoming as quick as possible, and it is hard to be able to catch up to what it is that you want to do, or to be able to have a moment of just self-reflection. I think that hustle culture is really the opposite of intention. But I actually went ahead and I broke down a video about hustle culture and why there are negative tendencies to it. I actually think if we did it in a different way, it could provide a tremendous amount of benefit. So please check that out. I think that could really help you feel more fulfilled and be able to achieve your goals in today's modern society.